Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. Right, so I didn't upload the first war video individually because I only had like 3 fights and it'd be very short video. So now that I have done all my fights in War 2 as well, I'm just going to be putting them together. So the first 4 is against XK9. As I said, you only have 3 fights. I'm going to be using Nimrod and Havoc and Magneto House of X for the pre-fights. So as we can see, I'm joining actually very early for the war, and in section 1 I only have 1 fight on my path, which is path 6, which is that combat deja vu prowess node, and it also has spiked armor now, and Jabari Panther's on it. So we're gonna boost on with your medium set of boosts. Nimrod is rank 4 obviously, and Jabari Panther is a fairly squishy opponent in reality, so it's not the biggest problem right there. So spiked armor doesn't really do all that much damage back to Nimrod. We're gonna be applying Magneto House of X pre-fight right here, because then Jabari Panther can't shrug off anything, and it's just basically becoming a very standard fight. Now, if I remember correctly, I don't think I actually use a level 2 in this fight. I'm going to be taking her down quickly enough with like a level 1, and then I'm going to notice that she's almost dead and use another level 1. Obviously, being able to inflict those shocks by purifying the prowesses is quite neat. Now we have energy vulnerability, so whenever we inflict shock, it's going to deal more damage. All of our basic attacks deal more damage as well. So here I will want to bait out her level 2, and that's exactly what happens. And go in immediately to punish it. Now she has 2 prowess effects, and I figured that, you know... Oh no, I actually got to level 2. Never mind. I think there's going to be another fight where I don't get level 2. So level 2 obviously finishes the fight off. Extremely easy and straightforward. That's it for day 1. And day 2, I need to deal with path 9 again, and it's my good old friend Dr. Doom on path 9. And at this point, I'm really used to taking this Dr. Doom fight with Havoc. Normally, I actually used to adjust the masteries as well for this fight with like max inequity and things like that to make it kind of safer and easier for myself. I don't really feel the need to do it anymore, especially now that I will have Magneto House of X pre-fight and I can basically ignore the one-eyed open node. It does not reflect damage whilst opponents stun passively, so it is going to work out fairly easily. So we're going to go in with Havoc, activate the guidance, and get in there. So obviously, whenever I strike him on the hazard shift in the shock phase, I'm going to be getting, multiples of relatively weak shocks. Bishop has a very high shock resistance, so they don't do all that much damage anyhow. And meanwhile, whilst we are in bleed phase, I just kind of wait it out, hit him on his block in order not to get cornered, to regain some spacing. Don't need to get overly carried with that either. And now I'm just, again, gonna drop that heavy attack to do that feedback damage, and hopefully get a couple more shocks, and the Dr. Doom is basically gonna go down. I have 2 shocks. We can see that all my plasmas are detonating at a fairly good speed. Now he's using his level 1, which is fair play, because now I need to wait out the bleed phase anyways, which kind of coincides with that aura of Hazaroth that he has going on for him. Again, few hits in a block, nothing too big there. Going for a heavy attack yet again, place that feedback on. I have 1 shock active on me. I got the 2nd shock due to Doom's ability, and we can see that those plasmas are detonating quite quickly, and he's dead. Didn't even need to use that level 3, so it took us 1 minute. We didn't lose much health at all, and yeah, very smooth fight. As I said, I have done this fight now, I think at least like 6-7 times, but with Havoc, and yeah, I kind of feel like I have this one in the bag. Now we're gonna go up against Sauron using Nimrod, and this is gonna be my last fight in this war, and obviously Nimrod against Sauron is always going to be easy. Now, first thing, I need to kind of wait out that shock phase, because Nimrod doesn't have a shock immunity. I don't have Odin's pre-fight or anything like that either. Now, as soon as it ends, we can see that I have 14 armors. I'm purifying all of his prowesses, and he's just melting away, because once you have a ton of armors on Nimrod, then he hits significantly harder as well. Now I use my level 1, and that level 1 gives me Energize, puts energy vulnerability on Sauron. Here I evade Sauron's level 1, not a problem. And I just need to get in the parry, wait out that shock phase, and now we're going to start smacking him again in the face. He's already halfway down. So we're going to use the level 1 here once more, purifying all the prowesses, those shocks plus energy vulnerability that he had on. obviously are completely melting him away, and the fight's over. This is the fight where I didn't even need my level 2. So Nimrod obviously destroys here. A very kind of chill war. Unfortunately, we ended up losing this war, and we lost it by 1 death. It ended up 6-7. We were behind on time as well, so we had a very, very bad start to the season. Obviously, not overly happy as an alliance with our own performance at the beginning of the season. And I will tell you, though, that with how out of date Alliance War rewards are, I'm not super stressed by it either. As long as we can finish this season in Masters, I'm going to be perfectly fine with it, because, again, this month you get like 50% rank 4 materials for just playing side quest, and that's equivalent of finishing in 2nd place in Masters. Finishing in Masters awards you like 20% of the catalyst or something like that, which is significantly less than you get from all the extra stuff all across the contest. Now, I know that Alliance War and Alliance Quest rewards are bound to get buffed soon, but until they are, I personally have somewhat of a more chill attitude towards Alliance Wars. I'll obviously do my best not to die. I'll do my best to follow the instructions, but it definitely kind of helps to take Alliance War easier, because the stakes don't feel as high in a sense. Right, and now the second war, obviously against GT40, pretty much immediately at the season. So second war, GT40, currently without a doubt the strongest Alliance War alliance. They have won like 7 seasons in a row or 6 seasons in a row, and obviously we have a very, very bad record against them as well. So we knew that this war is going to be very hard. Now, luckily, I actually got to do all my fights in this war in like one long swoop. I have 5 fights this war, so some more. And I'm actually bringing in Omega Sentinel and CGR, and then Odin for pre-fights on Omega Sentinel. I'm going to be boosting up fairly big, and I'm going to be using also several indestructible boosts, because I definitely do not want to die in this war as well. I'm going to be already applying the 200% Cosmic Power boost for CGR. I was thinking whether I want to use Tech boost and then swap into the Cosmic, or just apply the Cosmic one. And because we're dealing with the Schadenfreude node and Domino on the Schadenfreude node, I was thinking that, you know, I'd rather use that invulnerability boost here as well, even though I really technically only kind of was supposed to bring it for the Hyperion fight later on. But it's fine. I'm doing well enough on these boosts, as in like all of them are maxed at the beginning of this war. After I used these 2 boosts this war, I got to purchase one more, and I'll have that purchase limit reset later on this afternoon. Loyalty is kind of fine too, so I don't see any reason to skimp out. Now, this fight is slightly annoying in the sense that you're going up against Domino, and Domino is always tricky. And first and foremost, I can't hit Domino while she's in her Incinerate phase, because now I have Shock Resistance, Bleed and Poison, but nothing against the Incinerates. And that Fury is quite massive as well, so if I do slip up, I'll kind of get wrecked. So here I'm just going to put on one Cowardice debuff. I don't even really need to focus on putting on any debuffs, to be honest, but we're just going to go with it. So here, whilst she's in Poison phase, she uses her level 1. At the moment, I am back up to 10 Furies. I obviously keep triggering those poisons that keep you know, giving me regeneration buff, which is neat. And now she's in Incinerate phase, so I just need to wait out again that Incinerate phase. And now we're in Poison phase. We can start attacking her, which is quite nice. Not a problem there. She doesn't go lucky, which is good for me, obviously, because I can be more aggressive. At this point, I figured I'll just go for a level 2, and that level 2 does plenty of damage. She's left at 4%, and Plasma pretty much immediately finished her off, and that was good enough. Now, next couple of fights are going to be with Cosmic Ghost Rider. Now, this fight could have went much more annoying than it actually turned out to be. I was quite lucky that Mysterio wasn't spamming his special attacks here, truth to be told. Because here, obviously, I want to start with heavy attack. Then this time around, I'm going to go for a medium combo ender in order to kind of not have to deal with the Mystic Dispersion tactic whilst as it triggers. Now I get my level 1, but obviously I need to wait out that Indestructible. Luckily, he doesn't use his special one, but now he's in Poison phase. So I do need to wait that out. And I parry, dash back. Now he's back in Incinerate phase. I immediately go for my level 2. Now, since he has that Damnation, no, but Fate Seal Damnation debuff on him from getting 5 judgments. He actually didn't trigger the indestructible as I passed 1 bar of power again, and then level 3 immediately nuke him down. So it's just one of those fights where you need to be a bit more patient than normally playing with CGR just to be safe, and it works out just fine. Now we're going to go up against Hyperion, Hazard Shift, Schadenfreude, Power Efficiency. And Hyperion is a very annoying opponent for node combination like that. Obviously, Power Efficiency plus Hyperion means basically infinite amount of specials. But we're going to approach this in basically like nuke them all down tactic. And it's going to go about as straightforward as you can. So the entire point of this fight is just to do your standard quick CGI rotation. So parry, heavy, parry, light combo ender, get in another combo, finish with medium, drop a level 2, and then the power back boosts will have done its job. So he's still in incinerate phase. Here we can see that he's actually nearly at 3 bars of power by the time we nullify that power gain. But that's why we have the indestructible 3 boost 4, which we didn't really need for this fight, as it turns out, because we got to our level 2 quickly enough, then immediately get to our level 3, and obviously the fight is over. And that's why CGR can be quite awesome for Alliance War here, that's all I'm going to say. 1 heavy attack, 2 combos, and that's it. Now in Path 9 Tiger, now here I will make a very silly mistake, because I'm fully aware that this is Hazard Shift lane. I'm also fully aware that I need to play around Mystic Dispersion. The one thing that I did forget, largely probably because of the previous war, is the one-eyed open node. Because last time I took it, as we saw earlier in the video, I had Magneto House Effects pre-fight and I could ignore it. This time I was thinking about 8 different things, that I'm doing everything correctly, that, you know, I need to put on the tracking debuff, that I need to make sure that I heal to full, how to play this fight. So my mind was in like 8 different places, and for one reason or another, it completely slipped my mind that one-eyed open is a node. So what I do, I just casually go in for a parry, go for medium, and start hitting her, and I'm like, whoops, I think, and at this point I realized, I think I forgot something. Then I realized what it is. That, yeah, I can't stand her. But we have the tracking debuff active, so I don't need to worry about Mystic Dispersion at all. Well, the global tactic Mystic Dispersion. I still need to worry about the mastery Mystic Dispersion, but it's fine. So I'm awaiting the level 1s. Oh, it's all okay. Now I'm gaining some more bleeds on me, and that, you know, gives me some regeneration, which is nice. Now, at this point, I think she's going to kind of refuse to throw her special attack. So I'm going to... No, it's going to be the next special. So here she still throws it. I still have the tracking active. And I just go for level 3. I figured I do not want to be in the corner when she throws those level 2s with unblockables and everything else. So I just drop a level 3 whilst I had no incinerates active, which puts 6 incinerates on Tigra, which basically just nukes down the rest of her life. So very easy 1-minute fight. Again, a silly mistake that is going to cost me a potion, but all is fine. And now this last fight is against Toad. So obviously the biggest annoying things against Toad on defense is the poisons that you deal, but Omega Sentinel doesn't care about them too much. And then it's his regeneration. Now, obviously, Omega Sentinel does have a heal block pre-fight, which is exactly how we're going to approach this fight. We're going to start the fight with, again, finishing combo with a medium, heal blocking him, and then keeping him heal blocked for rest of the war. Now, Odin's pre-fight enables me to attack both in shock and in bleed phases, so that's quite awesome. Now, we do get some of those paralytic poisons active now and then. It's not the biggest of deals. So again, I'm just basically pausing those 2 heal blocks that I have placed on the Toad. You can see that his HP is running down fairly well. My HP is holding up with no problems. And I don't remember if I go for level 2 or level 3 in this fight. So here again, I'm just gonna go for that parry, not a problem. And we have 2 heal blocks still. Now here I made a mistake, and Omega Sentinel's auto block kind of saved me. I would have gotten hit, but you know, still, it wouldn't have been the biggest problem, even if there wouldn't be that auto block. And then I just finish him off without even launching a level 2 or level 3. And that is the last fight for me in this war. So this was the first time ever that I used the Omega Sentinel in war, and I kind of liked it. I think she definitely has potential to be brought in war more and more, and yeah, I definitely did enjoy that. Now, again, unfortunately, our alliance has not had the best start at all. We actually have had about an awful start, as one can imagine. Losing to GT40 is one thing, but having lost that first war as well, which was definitely a very winnable war, we have put ourselves in a very, very bad position where we start the season with 0-2, and because we matched GT40 very early in the season, also means that we're likely going to end up rematching them, as Kabam's matchmaking is an absolute garbage, and we basically get to play all of the top alliances twice this season. So I have no doubt that we're going to end up playing GT40 again at some point. And this definitely doesn't look like a great season for us, about as bad of a start as one can imagine. But nonetheless, let's take victories in the little things. And that is that I haven't died at the beginning. I haven't had the most amount of fights, but I am keeping at least my own record clean for now. Hopefully I can maintain that for the rest of the season. Let me know how your season has started, and how actively and heavily your alliances are playing Alliance War this season. But that is it for now, and I'm going to be back with the next war video in a couple of days. See you guys. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the